Welcome to another episode of From the Pit.
God damn it.
Where we bring you Found on Road Dead Sludge to Gonorrhea Grind Blast.
Gonorrhea Grind Blast.
Yeah.
Listen to it all.
Again, sounds like it could actually be
a thing.
A thing, yeah. Grindcore.
So, here to bring up the speed and things of the metal community and things of that nature. So let's start things off with some brutal news. So I know we talked about it last week, Phil Anselmo being a racist prick.
I'm so tired of it.
He came out with a second apology, which seemed a little bit more heartfelt to some people.
A little more
strategic.
But yeah, there we go. That's the word. That's the word. Like a little bit more methodical.
I was talking to Ron about this as we left on Friday, and I had seen someone comment on it saying something along the lines of, "Why does Phil sound like an abusive father apologizing after the last time he's beaten his wife and kids?" Watch the apology again with that thought in mind.
He's right. Yeah, no. Like as soon as you told me that, I went home and I watched it, and like it's that. Right. It's that. It just feels like that abusive dude who's apologizing. He swears this is the last time.
What's the name of that monster, the alien from Aqua Teen Hunger Force? I'm so sorry.
Oh, he's so sorry.
He's so sorry.
You bitch.
Yeah, man. I mean, if nothing else, it is indicative of the fact that even he is aware of how hard he fucked up, whether or not his apology is sincere.
That's fair.
His actions have costed Down to be taken off of
a
tour,
lot of bills. Yeah,
that part
Down is down for
which he has apparently told them to go on without me because he's not trying to drag them down.
It's a real shame how it's affecting the rest of the band in that way. Because, I mean, that's, they're all losing money there. I mean, it's not Pepper Keenan's fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a shame because Phil being Phil, he's got that fucking Pantera money. Pepper Keenan, I don't know how much he's making off of old Corrosion of Conformity.
What if this is the birth of PC Principle?
I don't know.
Phil Anselmo comes
Phil Anselmo, no! Oh, God!
Well,
he just goes on a spirit trek and just becomes PC Principle.
Oh,
speaking
boy.
of Pepper Keenan, he says he does forgive Phil after the second apology.
Yeah.
He says he believes in the ability of humans to change.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I just think it's
been
pretty
a
shortly
long
after.
Yeah. You need a little bit more than a few.
I think he needs some serious soul searching before.
Yes.
This isn't something that should even be as much of a. It's always I swear I'm not a racist apology.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. Just say, dude, I fucked up really bad and I really need to think about what the fuck happened there.
Yeah.
I'd be much more accepting of that, but, hey, man.
Not so PR, a little more honest from the soul speaking.
You deserve to take a bit of heat for a while. I hope he turns things around, but,
Yeah.
So, in other news, there's an interview with Lord Sorrow in Toilet of Hell.
Oh, my God.
Now,
For those who aren't aware.
I forget the band name at this moment. All of his projects have SAR in them somewhere.
Okay. I mean,
there's multiple projects.
just keep rolling with what you're saying. I'll pull up the info.
Now, he's a black metal artist and doesn't do the stereotypical Satan and evil. He believes in the interview saying he's there's a different kind of evil that you can explore, and that's the evil within oneself.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of he was saying he was in an accident when he was I forget how young he was, very young, and it caused he's in pain every moment.
On top of I think he was born with some kind of a disease on top of that, but
right.
He
has
fucked
pain
from
all the
age,
time,
man.
which he says it makes you go a little crazy.
Yeah,
and
I'll give a test to that.
And he says he has some terrible thoughts sometimes. He's but instead of acting on them, he writes music, writes this dark, nasty music where he can get all of that out. Which
Yeah.
is
Word. It's,
Yeah, like-
that's it. That's expression, at least. I mean, like it seems like a very healthy outlet for somebody. And
that's the thing.
situation
That's
like that. Yeah.
and he's trying to say like as far as the direction of black metal, we even said before this is kind of a good expansion upon that.
It's I mean a lot of what happens in here is a lot darker than the made up Satanism and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is something we've been seeing a lot more of in black metal. I mean with Murphy, who we covered very early
Yes.
on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I love seeing that shit. I think it's really cool.
yeah. I'm
It's a nice change of
digging this.
pace.
Yes.
I haven't even fully let the realization sink in yet that Mirker is capable of writing more than one album. Like, we might have something else come out that might be even better.
So now let's have a bit of a laugh.
Oh God.
So in the '80s, good old back in America, apparently there was a special on ABC about the day my kid went punk.
Right.
Now,
See, I
Uh,
thought you were going to refer to how Slayer used to be like glam rock.
what?
And Pantera.
And Pantera.
Yeah, that happened.
But, okay, so
Phil Anselmo with his fucking perm.
Yeah,
hair
dude.
wig.
with hair, period.
Just hair wig. Jesus, I really
Hatred
should
makes you
have.
go bald.
But yeah, no, it does. Yeah. Hair is,
Gary King.
hair is the key to happiness. There are no famous
Yeah.
rock stars who are bald and happy.
See,
still.
Dad,
Oh shit!
you got to relax.
Now,
Wow. Oh boy. Okay.
Wow.
the day my
Got
kid went
personal.
punk is pretty much a telling of a nice, upstanding young child, and he sees a girl. He gets turned down by a girl because she's going with like the rocker punk dudes. So he's like, "Oh man, I want to get my D wet pretty much." so he then starts dressing like a punk and all this and that, and gets kicked out of his orchestra and loses his like summer job because the way he looks.
This was a big problem for the hardcore community back in the early 80s. It was, it kind of followed the whole satanic panic, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of, there's the funny side of this where it's like there was an episode of Chips where it was like the evil heroin shooting punk rock kids were
It's
about
like-
to ruin the battle of the
It's
bands.
like a lot of stuff that's just super hilarious in retrospect because of the fact that
Well, it's
like,
funny how you're referring to the scare aspect of it when comics seem to embrace that side, that culture at that time period.
Yeah,
Like
But,
you had
weird.
the Invisibles, which was like an exploration. Was that the 80s? That was Alan Moore, and you already know that he's taking hits while he's writing his comics. Of acid, that's what I meant when I said hits. But I mean, he does the whole like punk rock, sexual transcendence, magic. The Invisibles.
Interesting.
Definitely, I know it's up on YouTube. They have it also up on but again, that was Toilet of Hell, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the article to go along with it is amazing. They have like a picture of the kids, like, look at this fucking herb. And then it goes down, and it's when he does his punk transformation, and it's badass in all caps.
Yeah, I know we say it every week, but those guys are fucking awesome. Go
Yes.
check out Toilet of Hell.
Yeah.
It's got my vote for best metal blog
Best,
on the internet.
yeah, the best metal writing we have.
Yes. Oh boy. Jesus Christ.
So what is this? Alice Kubert doing a tribute to Lemmy?
Yeah. He's supposed to be doing a performance at the Grammys, I believe. And he's going to be doing a tribute to Lemmy. He said he might cover Ace of Spades.
With Hollywood Vampires Supergroup. Let's see who else is in this. Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, Aerosmith's Joe Perry, and Guns N' Roses' Duff McKagan.
Johnny Depp.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
That man does everything.
I can get down with that.
I know he had a band and he has played a few other instances. I can't think of anything particular right now, but Hey, cool.
Well, if
Fuck
you-
it.
I mean, I've heard his hit single, "I've Got a Jar of Dirt."
Got a jar of dirt.
I've got a jar of dirt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then-
no, but I just thought that was kind of cool because it's like Alice Cooper alone is like somebody who is another living legend.
Oh
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
So
He's right in that. Excuse me, right in that camp. He's the
Exactly.
type of person who should be doing these tributes. So
and
fucking
I
great.
really dig that
That's-
he's paying homage to somebody whose band had to have been influenced by his own work, you know, in some way, shape, or form.
So let's say Alice Cooper's also one of the dudes that as far as partying goes, he partied for a while, but then he learned his
Yeah.
lesson.
yeah.
And he still looks ragged.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Like
he's looked ragged for 30 years now, man.
exactly. Oh man.
I think he described his wake up call as one day being in the hotel room and vomiting, and it's just blood.
Whoop.
And he said he's like, looks great on stage, not so much in the hotel bathroom.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's kind of said to himself, he's like, you know what? I'm stopping.
Yeah.
And
And
he's living.
And he's, you know, all now the drugs have just like what's his name, Keith Richards, have preserved his body. You know, so hopefully we can, you know,
Just pickled
keep
him.
exactly. We can keep him lasting for future generations to enjoy.
I do love a pickled rock star.
He looks pickled.
He does. He does.
So
He's
salty.
got that leathery thing going on.
He's been sitting in some vinegar for a
Oh
long time.
man, in the one Souls Lake clone, instead of experience, you get salt.
I don't know why that's hilarious, but
It's
is.
great.
All right. So, whoa. Calm down. If we're gonna go any further, gonna need some like gloves, maybe some oven mitts
Mm-hmm.
or
It's
something.
gonna get hot. It's gonna
Yeah.
get a little.
It's hot off the press. Yeah. What?
I added more cards than this. Let me see if they're at the bottom. Yes, they are.
Oh, why did you?
Oh,
It doesn't work like that. No,
Okay, here.
don't.
I'm just give it back.
You're gonna break it. So, did you do these two right now? All right.
No, keep going to the other ones because
All right, fine. Okay, so Vipassi, which has members from I always butcher this name, Ni Obliviscaris.
Fair enough, as far as I can tell.
They are releasing an album. I believe it's, as we're recording right now, I believe it's the 8th that is being released. No, it was right on the 5th. So I don't know what you're doing. Get this album now. If you haven't listened to Neoblith Fiscaris, it is awesome. Good, kind of proggy, yeah, some good like proggy metal. It's a little bit on the heavier side though.
same day, Flesh God Apocalypse,
Word.
the 5th is coming out. That is The King.
I wasn't done yet.
Oh.
'Cause I was talking about Neoblith Fiscaris. I'm talking about Vipassi, which is I think it's Vipassi, which is members from that band. The way it was described to me is think of Vipassi to Neo is like Liquid Tension Experiment to Dream Theater.
Okay.
They had when I listened to it, they had 2 songs up for preview, and they're slamming. I definitely recommend picking this one up based off of those.
What's the vibe of that of Vipassi?
Same.
Okay. Okay.
So if you
Gotcha.
like Neo, you'll like them. And
It's 2 bands for the first one.
Flesh God released The King. We just said that, and Obscura released an album same day.
nice.
I've also been getting information about the Deftones' new album,
Yeah.
which will be titled Gore. They've also released a single off of it called Prayers/Triangle, so check that out. I don't believe we have an exact date yet.
Prayer / what?
Triangles. So, I mean, Ron should check it out immediately.
Speaking of that, when I saw Vipassi's album cover, there was triangles.
Was it Genti?
No, but Not full on.
All right.
There's some.
Full on yent.
God fucking.
So
damn
what's
it.
Metallica doing now?
I
care.
don't.
No.
I put that up for anybody that still likes them.
Why is Metallica doing stuff?
Apparently, they might release a new album this
They
year.
shouldn't. They should just sit and
gonna
they
be-
should just play the first 5
Hold on.
It's gonna be called
What if-
something.
forever.
What if they let?
Gonna be called something.
Hey Rob,
It's
Rob
gonna have a
Trio, how about
title.
you write most of our music?
That would be cool. What if Rob Trujillo turned Metallica
Oh,
into like
God,
an
this
Infectious
picture.
Grooves cover band?
Jesus fuck. Hold on.
that picture. Jesus Christ.
Hold on. Oh yeah, the shores. Hold on. Just
Nah,
a
but
second.
honestly, like
fuck.
the idea of a new Metallica album, I know I'm not going to like it, but I want to listen to it.
Look,
Do you,
man,
want- do you want
Straight
Death
up.
Magnetic again?
No,
this
I know
is,
it's going to be Death Magnetic again.
This is the group we're talking about. This is not the Metallica that we picture when we think.
Hell no.
Do you want these fucking guys releasing an album under the Metallica moniker? Look at them.
See, I feel
Look
like
at
it's
'em.
just like the 10-year school reunion. There's a little part of you that's got the nostalgia.
But I mean, I feel like if Rob Trujillo gets at some kind of writing,
What is wrong with Lars Ulrich?
his face is slowly
Oh
receding.
my god.
Years of Bud Light.
The mediocre, just like his playing.
Lars. But anyway, like, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna straight
Of
up say
course,
I'm
man.
But I'm not going to enjoy it.
I'm gonna listen to that. I'm gonna listen to the new Anthrax. The new Megadeth was actually pretty decent, but like,
As people,
you know, guys,
I don't
I don't.
I don't know. But
Whatever, do whatever the fuck you want. I guess
It's
I don't
just-
give a
yeah,
shit. They're all
yeah.
pop acts at this point anyway.
All right, let's get off. Let's get off that.
So
Now,
much negative.
that's easy. We're losing the negative because now it's time for the main topic.
Alrighty.
An
So-
interesting one.
It is.
I like this one.
So,
Yes, me too.
kind of saying, what makes a great one or a master? Is it,
I think the actual discussion started as by what measurement is valued higher.
right?
Well, okay, so that's an interesting, because it's you can be great in either an aspect of style or technicality.
Or timbre.
Yes. Yeah, these are all things, you know, and you can even consider musicality outside of those as an aspect.
Yeah.
It's a really fucking difficult one, and I have
It-
different thing, like,
Because it's a conversation of like qualitative versus quantitative, like because you can quantify certain things, like certain guitar
put
players
the-
can play at this speed consistently and do like sweeps
Yes.
and all types of crazy stuff
To put
like
the
that.
discussion into context for them, because I still
Okay.
don't think we've really explained what we were talking about.
yeah.
But, yeah,
The discussion got brought up when we started comparing and contrasting the qualities of Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix.
Well, not even
we're
so
bringing
much
back
that.
this specific.
It's just-
It was more of
Yeah, no, 'cause
it
like-
was more of is it, you know, because you get
Okay.
the very generic the
Okay,
generic
yeah.
go-to is that Hendrix is the greatest guitarist of all time. Now there are aspects of that on both sides. Was
of all
he
time,
was he
I would say not.
exactly?
Yeah.
Was he massively important?
He was
yes.
He was probably one of the most influential.
Certainly.
Yeah.
If not for anything else, at the very least being... Because I
But-
don't think he was the only of his breed. He
Yeah.
just happened to be the one
But
that
I think
fell
this,
into
I
the
think
right
this
spot.
does. I think this does kind of fall back into the actual like wording of like what makes a master. Like,
Yes.
What made Jimi Hendrix like the masters that made him so influential to all these people? Like what made him that icon? And, and like stuff like that. Like what made the Beatles
There's
legacy.
where there. Okay, perfect.
It's like there's like a legacy involved.
I had an interesting, because what makes the Beatles as great as they are, and I know this is a little outside of metal, guys, but what makes the Beatles so great? Well, they were all proficient musicians, well, mostly.
Ringo.
None of them were.
Ringo was really good at what he did.
None of them were exactly. None of what they did is unattainable by someone who's been playing for a couple years.
Yeah.
But they were phenomenal songwriters.
Yes.
It's a similar thing, going even further from metal. But Miles Davis, as far as his ability to actually play without making mistakes, this is why he only really did so well on his own compositions. And even there, struggled when he first wrote faster shit, which is why he never did that again. But yeah, so it's you can get into the discussion of
to bring it into like a metal scope. Even.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. To bring it more into a metal scope, like you have. Okay, I'm gonna name 5 names off the top of my head. You have Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Paul Gilbert, and
Matthias Eklund.
What band?
I think it's hard to pick 5 at this point.
No. But
like back when Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan were like big.
Well, Stevie came a bit later.
Yeah, he came a bit
later. There was
later.
a smaller pool.
Yeah, no, but nowadays I'm saying like okay, I'm trying to compare like 5 guitar players who are comparable to one another.
Okay.
Right? So you and they're all virtuosos of what they do. They've all reached an influential status to where like shredders nowadays look up to them, kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so like Steve Vai, Paul Gilbert, Joe Satriani, and fucking
Yngwie?
not even Yngwie. This guy actually, fucking Jason Becker.
Okay.
Right? Jason Becker of Cacophony, and he was David Lee Roth's guitar player. So,
it's weird.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird. But check this out. Like he's totally comparable to all 3 of those other guys. He can shred on that level. There's a video of him back in like the early '80s where he's like shredding, doing sweeps and stuff with one hand, and then he's playing with a yo-yo in the other. And so like the dude had licks like crazy, and he was in a band with Marty Friedman back in the day from Megadeth.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, I say it to say, like, these are 5 guys who are all very, very influential, but Jason Becker is kind of seldom known, heard name, but I think he might even be able to shred circles around some of these guys. Didn't have Lou Gehrig's disease.
That happens a lot. You look at some of the guitarists from some of the 80s bands that most of us kind of look past, but like Rat had a phenomenal guitar player.
Dude, like,
shitty music.
It was all like
phenomenal guitar player.
You only listen to like I listen to 80s metal for the solos because it's like they were fucking wild back in the day.
Lots of dweedlies.
Lots of dweedlies, but it was still like people were very technically sound. People were very focused on
it was still that era before, and I think a lot of it changed when we started to get crossover in the world of punk and metal started to really meet.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, you kind of had to be super technical to be in any style of metal. Yeah. It was just like a requirement.
Yeah.
Super technical, clean, comfortable. Like, that's what is almost a trend in all the guitarists. But at the same time, like, I could say those 4 names to the average person and they wouldn't know those names from a can of paint compared to Jimi Hendrix.
That is true.
So does that mean Jimi Hendrix is the better guitar player, or is
it just means that he's
more popular?
Yeah, he got because on that note, I mean, nowadays you're probably gonna run into more people on the street who know the name Nickelback than who know Jimi Hendrix. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. but does that make them better by any means?
By that same measurement,
it was just exposure.
Mm-hmm. I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson, and this kind of piggybacks right off the conversation. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about how there was a certain movement, a certain feeling in the 80s and 70s and the 60s, and it seems to be lost today. And I was telling you guys, I feel like it's like I just want to reach out and tell them.
that feeling of like progress.
The reason that is the way that it is because in the 70s or the 80s or 60s, it seemed like wartime music and really impressive guitarists were selling, were profitable.
Yes.
And these days, where people would get upset with me, but I would say that the musicians of today have well and exceeded Stevie Ray Vaughan and Hendrix.
Some of them, yeah.
Buckethead.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
Buckethead's.
I'm saying there's a much
exception to
deeper
every rule.
bucket of.
There's a bigger talent pool.
There's people on a proficiency level that certain people can't get to, and that pool is bigger.
Yes.
It's
okay.
We largely what I think is important though is we largely have this bigger pool because of these guys who came before, because of people who aspired to be that from an earlier age.
I agree
when
with that.
you get people who are 9-10 years old who hear Hendrix and are like, fuck, I want to play like that, and they start practicing and they're playing that sort of shit by the time they're 15, of course they're gonna surpass that level, because it's when you've got that
The
sort
bar
of
has been raised.
ambition.
Here's the debate I was trying to make with the Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan, just to bring it back to that.
Yes, certainly.
It was more of a thing of Stevie Ray Vaughan may sound similar to Hendrix, but he will never sound exactly like Hendrix. Hendrix will always have
Because
that
Hendrix cornered a style, but it was based off of the exact Southern blues, rock style. I mean,
it's in his hands is what I'm getting at. There's that timbre. There's that sound that Hendrix had that you
Hendrix
just can't
had a
replicate
flair,
perfectly.
had a draw that he cast on the audience, and that's he played with his teeth.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him better than anybody. But the fact that he could do it was a spectacle.
Tried it before. Careful if you ever do that.
I tried doing that on a bass, and it hurt.
Oh, that's a really bad idea.
Yep.
I mean, I'll never argue the merits of Hendrix in music in general.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, I think it's a real shame that the experience is the big thing that everyone hears, because I think so much of what he did outside of that was so much more exciting. Not that anything was wrong with the Jimi Hendrix experience. It was just sort of his most
It's a
tempered
small section of so much other Yeah, I see what you're getting.
Yeah,
he did other stuff that was more interesting.
Like I mentioned to you the other day, it is very worth checking out his work with Lonnie Youngblood, incredible saxophone player. But holy shit, does it get a little weird at points too? It's pretty wild.
There were most definitely drugs involved.
I'd say so.
Copious amounts.
But to get back into metal. I'm trying to think of a few bands.
Of what?
Well,
noteworthy guitar players?
Well, just in
Iommi.
general, some comparisons that you can
there was
bring.
Page and Plant. I mean,
No, I was gonna say
that was
well,
an
even
effective
Tony
guitar
Iommi
player.
versus Randy Rhoads.
Oh, as far as the technical, I love Iommi, and he is playing with a handicap, so we have to hand him that. But never,
Randy Rhoads is clearly a more
never on
technical
Rhodes.
guitar player.
Well, Rhodes was also he never wanted to play metal. He played classical. That was what he gave
That's
a shit
also
about.
true.
Did you ever hear his classical album?
No,
Holy shit!
I
That man was insane.
judging from the shit he did with Ozzy, I can imagine he's probably a fucking wicked classical player.
I think a lot
But,
of what he did was
But
what
that's the difference, though. I mean, they're two guys who played with the same artist.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're also I don't know, calling Ozzy the same style artist as Sabbath is.
You're right. Yeah.
Because Sabbath was very much blues metal. It was the start of doom metal, whereas what Ozzy was doing in the '80s was more akin to heavy metal in the classic sense.
You know Paul Gilbert?
Paul Gilbert, I do.
Racer X, Mr. Big.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So Paul Gilbert versus Steve Vai. Just going back to that one.
We'll spend the next 2.5 hours having this discussion, picking two artists that do different things. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix do the same thing.
Okay.
So that's the discussion.
It's not even so much
They
that.
don't really.
I think what I really want to bring it down to, because this is a discussion.
The point you're trying to harp on is that, so Stevie Ray Vaughan, technically speaking,
Is
It's
more
better.
solid. Yes.
is just on point.
I think we're speaking to two different crowds. The people that are the mundane listener that doesn't really get into the finer workings of a guitar is going to pick Jimi Hendrix. He's magnetic. But the person that, might learn and might have the experiences might say, maybe there was something to Stevie Ray Vaughan. I think it's more, what kind of a listener are you? I mean, we're not taking credit from Jimi Hendrix by saying that Stevie Ray might be better, technically, by a hair. But...
But at the same... Okay, no, but that's the thing. We're talking about music here.
So it's subjective discussion.
It's totally subjective to, do I want to hear somebody pick every note, or do I want to hear some crazy legato, wild walk, crazy...
Yeah, but Paul, when you brought up Paul Gilbert, he's known for his staccato work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's where that begins and ends.
No. He's known for his staccato work, but you stay for the rest of the fine technicality that he does. He does all the same.
But it's all coming from the same wheelhouse that Stevie Ray and Hendrix were all. It's about presentation at that point.
What a lot of it boils down to for me, and I think this is the point I was trying to get at, because there is, and it always drives me nuts when I just hear people write off every discussion as music is subjective. Yes, as to what you like, it is 100% subjective. There is a side that is tangibly measurable, and so it comes down to how you want to make the comparison. Personally, I like Hendrix more than Vaughan. I like Miles Davis more than I like Wynton Marsalis. When we're talking about this, the more technical of the players in those two situations are Vaughan and Marsalis, respectively. But like I said, you can prefer something, you can like something more. There is a side to who is technically more proficient. So it depends on how you want to rate it. Do you want to rate it, as far as preferences? Do you want to rate it as far as influence? But you can look at things and say, objectively, this person is a better player than this person. Now, does it mean they're going to connect with the audience as well? Maybe not.
Because you're not a huge Dream Theater fan.
No,
but you will admit, as technical players,
they are.
Zach Wilde is a good guitar player. I fucking hate him.
He really, yeah.
I mean, he's good. He is good at what he does. He is.
How do you feel about Kerry King?
What?
How do you feel about Kerry King?
I don't know. I feel like he's been stuck in high school for a real long time.
Yeah.
I always preferred Henneman over him.
King is
Jeff had
King is fast, and that's about it. A lot of his solos are just gibberish.
Not only that.
In that same band, I said, Jeff Hanneman in the same band, his leads I liked way better.
And with King, I think the thing is he learned his fundamentals of metal, and then he's not quite like what Lars.
What do you mean?
In the sense that he's part of this big act and he never practices. I would believe that he practices. I just don't think that he's putting a lot of effort into
growing his style. Yeah, I think it's
his niche and he's comfortable.
And then the album that just got released last year, it sounds like it did fucking
his playing
20
sounds
years
exactly
ago.
the same. You know what it is? It's a lot of, and there's a reason. I feel like more of the metalhead musicians, we all fucking love Slayer, but the more you play, the less they're in your top.
Yeah.
Because Kerry King does a lot of fucking. It sounds almost like chromatic finger exercises.
Yeah.
Really,
it's
really
a lot
fast
of the chromatic scale. He loves
chromatic finger exercises, which in the end requires very little thought. Maybe a lot of technicality as far as your finger work, but very little thought.
I had a lot of muscle memory practice 20 years ago.
But it's
all there.
It's very impressive to people who don't play and are just like, holy shit, that's so fast.
I think he
capitalizes
off aggression. He plays aggressive music. It is not the most complex, but it has kept its nash for the last 20 years.
That's why I like it.
Yeah,
that's why everybody. I think that's why.
This is also why I prefer Creator to Slayer. Similar in the aggression, but much better playing.
I mean, Rain and Blood was one of the first Pit pieces. I mean,
dead. that album is
What time are we looking at, Captain?
8:17.
We got a couple minutes.
I was gonna say, that album, like, I still listen to that album, and that's over 20 years old. That's 30 years old, I think.
Is it at this point?
And it's still,
damn.
you listen to it, and that's still angry sounding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is,
You've taken me
From-
through some of the better works, and I mean, I've been impressed at the tenacity that they've kept up
Like-
as a band.
and when they wrote that album, they said, this is what the standard thrash album should be. And it's like, no, you've really pushed metal to an extreme direction with that album.
I really think like I mentioned Creator, but I think the Germans took it a step further post Slayer. When you get bands like Destruction and Creator, just really fucking push the boundaries, because those dudes were nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. I mean, Extreme Aggression is still one of my absolute favorite fucking thrash albums. Anyway, so yeah, it's a hell of a discussion that I don't really think has any sort of finalization to it.
There's no final answer. It's a
We'd be
It's an
shitty
opinion.
to.
I think what we have come to is the realization that it's very possible to be having the two different arguments about the same artist. So think about that when you're discussing shit with people. Are you approaching it from the same side? If not, maybe make sure you're both aware of that.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
with that to close, where are we going?
We're going into the pit. All right. So this week I was on Toilet of Hell, and they posted an article about this band called a while back actually called Black Peaks. Bottom line, and they're from Brighton, UK, and they're kind of like this weird mathy prog thing going on. It's really cool.
Lots of triangles.
No, not so much on the triangles, but a lot on like just dynamics. Like a band that just abuses dynamics, and it's great. Like they can go from a really really driving kind of like they'll start off kind of somber, might sound a little indie almost at parts, and then it'll get mathy, and suddenly it's very heavy and just he's screaming at a point, and it's just really cool. Actually, I saw a video they had of a live set on YouTube, and looked like they put on a pretty good live show. I'm not sure if they're coming around here anytime soon, but they're pretty cool. And
Safety.
if I had to compare them to something, they're comparable to a lot of the stuff that I'm listening to. I guess if you like RX Bandits, they might fall into that niche. Say again?
Savage Garden. Sorry.
Phil's dead.
Where did that come from?
I reached deep.
Apparently. Holy shit.
All
Wow.
right. But no, they're a band. They harken back to like Mars Volta a little bit. Like they have a lot of different textures to them, and if you're willing, you should check them out. Black Peaks, and they kick ass.
Nice. All right.
Keep going. What are you worried about?
I don't know. You're playing shit. Oh God.
It sounded like this, right?
This is Ron's favorite band for everybody. This is as gent as he gets.
Who is this?
It's Savage Garden.
It's so savage, isn't it?
So
We
savage.
should record guitar tracks for this song.
Alright.
Let's keep rolling.
All right. So, this week I decided to go to my my normal territory of disgusting filth.
Yep.
And
Pornhub.
actually, videos.
Mike's on fire.
XNXX.
So I listened to a one-man project. It was Beneath
Oh.
Facade, and this is actually the
These guys were good.
this is the drummer from Wreck the Hesperus. which is another like like drone or noise act. So Beneath the Sod sadly only has around like I think like 6 tracks up right now up on SoundCloud, but ooh, are they they're dark.
That bass warmth.
Yes, it's from what I've noticed, it's all like I guess like sound clips in with overly fuzzy like distorted bass, and it brings you down to a level of like in a pit.
No, it was that bass. Like,
Yeah, very
the runs, the melody.
Very was this very drone like, almost in the sense that it
Yeah, but the bass kept it interesting.
it did it still has that like trying to it has that ambient feel of just
It was like crushing funky.
yes.
Yeah, I felt like it was something you can jam with a little more than some of the other things within the genre that you brought
not
in.
as droney as
It's-
Sunno.
No,
Well, that's a whole
they
different.
make that their job.
Oh, did I ever tell you about when I saw them live in the church cathedral with fucking what's his face from Mayhem?
Jesus.
Oh my god, they played in all black cloaks.
I
The
heard
church
the
was
thing.
lit only with candlelight. They had like 20 fog machines going, and you were sitting in church pews.
Jesus.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was
boy.
No, I wanna
the
see- I wanna
moment-
see them too.
I can't remember who it was from Mayhem, one of the vocalists. It's gonna drive me nuts, but there was a point where he left the stage and came back out in this white robe with a fucking crown of thorns and these branches sticking off of his hands, and just reached out into the fog and let out this fucking blood-curdling scream, and it scared the shit out of me. It was like watching a nightmare. It was the
Nice.
greatest experience of my entire life.
So with
That's showmanship.
yeah, with Beneath the Sod, it's definitely though it feels filthy. That's the only way I can describe it. With one of my favorite tracks being This Is Your Carcass. Like it brings you
know
down
why.
to just
I don't know why I find that funny.
decaying body in like the mold, in a
Ugh.
moldy like pit. Like that's what it,
moldering.
that's what I think of when I listen to it.
Nice.
So Tom should put
So if you have
Links in
children in
the-
your life,
See, I thought of
this
South
is what
Park
you should
Devil
lull
playing
them to
on the
sleep
bass.
with.
Yes.
This is make the greatest lullabies.
definitely check out they're from I think he's actually from Ireland. Just for a little bio info. Beneath the Sod. Check it out on SoundCloud.
Beneath Assad.
The Sod.
Carne Assad.
I hate you.
Fucking
So, this week
Ah!
I listened to.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
I listened to Jack the Stripper, and when I looked, I don't know if that's a direct reference to a stripping Jack the Ripper, or if it's the British version of Jack the Ripper, who was called Jack the Stripper, as in stripping flesh instead of ripping flesh. So there's that.
boy. Okay, that's a
Alright,
whole
yeah,
new
it's-
perspective
I don't-
on it. That's
Continue.
So
I don't want to sidetrack you.
that's fine. They're a chaotic hardcore band.
So you're in your familiar territory.
And man, were they good! I got
we all
notes.
found our niche this week.
I got notes of Dillinger and subtle hints of old Norma Jean first 2 albums, with some different sort of vocal stylings. I mean, it was still kind of grindy, chaotic, very Dillinger centric. I had a lot of fun with it. It definitely reminded me of some of the more recent sort of chaotic hardcore CDs, like Roll It Tomasi and Employed to Serve, in the sense that the production was a little better. They weren't quite mathematical masochists. Like, you'll get sections that are real, like, mathy and spastic and fast, but then you'll go into a real sweet, like, breakdown, chuggy section, and the vocals will change to match that. So it was really my cup of tea. I mean, I don't like repetition. I don't like pussyfooting around. I mean, there was only really one song that had actual chords, like punk style chords. Everything else was just like mathy, brutal fucking chaos.
Nice.
So, I believe their newest album is called Raw Nerve. I highly recommend it. If you like any of the other recommendations I've given as far as chaotic hardcore goes, you'll love this. I think you'd like it too.
Yeah, absolutely. The description's right up my alley. You really need to listen to fucking All Else Failed.
What else failed?
From Pennsylvania. They're fucking awesome.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Should have been a lot bigger than they were.
It sounds so familiar. But yeah.
Anyway, I've mentioned him a bunch of times to you before, but I don't think we've had a chance to actually like
Dial it in.
Yeah, you were still working in the shop at the time, so I could play a track, but then people would walk in.
Yeah.
So, that piece of shit. If you live in Jersey and you vape, don't go to Vape Station. Fuck that place. Anyway.
Might need to take a drink.
No, why?
You know where we're going, right?
No.
What the
heck? He hasn't gone yet.
Wow.
Why don't you just calm down and sit there? All right.
Excuse me.
This is
I
how
hate
much
people in glasses.
this is how much Ron pays attention during the filming of our episodes. He wasn't
I've
aware
been
of the
talking
name.
forever. I don't know.
Jesus Christ, you fucking stoned asshole.
Excuse me. Pardon me. What was that?
I called you a stoned asshole.
Oh, yeah, you didn't put your band up on the Trello, so
Nah,
how was I supposed
man,
to know?
because I fucking.
But
had
there's
to,
only 3, and we've only talked 3.
I had to.
Just go.
He wants to
He was
jerk off
choking
to
a
the
ferret.
fact that yeah, man. I don't. Whatever, man. There's too much to unpack here. Anyway, this week I listened to a new personal favorite of mine from Philly called Godroot, who, of course, I once again found out about through Toilet of Hell, because why not?
Great sites.
They got their shit on lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's tough to find something that they haven't covered.
So Toilet of Hell, if it seems like we're ripping all of our information off from you, we check other sites. You're just the best at it.
Yeah. And we're sorry. We'll be the Toilet of Hell show if you want. Anyway.
Subdivision.
They only have out a self-titled 4-song EP, which I thought was a really ballsy first release. It's 4 tracks. Second track is 12.5 minutes. The fourth track is 10. The other 2 are about 2.5. But that's, a fucking near half-hour 4-song EP. You really got some faith if that's what you put out there and say, hey, listen to our fucking 12-minute stoner epic. That being said, I think it paid the fuck off. We were listening to it the other night, and it's one of those things where you don't even realize how much you're getting sucked into it until someone's foot hits the PlayStation controller and it all gets fucked.
Yeah, we were like 5.5 minutes in, and it was just like, we've gone too far. We can't come back.
Yeah,
you
but
can't-
you,
It was enjoyable as fuck. It was just kind of like we lost our place in
It's,
War and Peace.
The buzz got killed.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You broke the trance. But I mean, if you're a fan of anything, I keep wanting to default to Sleep because it's one of the few things I can think of. Sleep and Sun to an extent, where it's just they have this very slow build, not so slow that you can't follow it, but I think it's almost 6 minutes in before the fucking vocals kick in.
ISIS, for anybody
Yes,
who knows what I
yeah,
mean. I'm
yeah.
not talking about the terror group, like the good post-metal group.
Yes, very much so. I love their personal description of their genre. Tribal tinged psych sludge doom post metal. It
Sounds like one of our genres.
It sounds like one of our genres, but it really just fucking makes sense.
I also heard when we were listening to it, it's like musically, it was definitely a sludgy, doomy musical effort, but the vocals threw it right outside of the norm.
Yeah,
It was like almost like a dark, rainy Viking chant.
yeah. I like how they make the vocals very, they're very distant sounding,
Glassy almost.
it's got almost a reverb to it where it sounds like they were recorded on their own in like a huge fucking room, and it just really gives this feeling of isolation to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just a fucking awesome album. I think I've listened to it 10 times already, which is a commitment for a 4-song EP. Bless you.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Don't fucking touch me.
Oh boy, we're getting to that point of the show. Wow. You guys,
I'll do what I
guys-
want.
I'll do what
you
I
guys
want.
might be getting a hell of a show soon. I don't know if we're going to be able to put this on YouTube.
Go right to Pornhub.
Dick
That's
magic.
our new host. So yeah, that's about it. Tom, I will get the fucking link up. Don't worry. It's been a crazy week. I had to reset my phone. It was a goddamn nightmare.
And it's still not working right.
No, I got it. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, it took all goddamn day, but I can fix shit. Believe it or not,
Nice.
I am a professional at something. Clearly, it's not this.
Now,
Anyway,
we were...
so I know Ron was really fucking eager
No,
to
no.
skip me.
Were you about to let him do it?
Hold on.
Jesus
Since he
fucking
was so
Christ.
goddamn eager to not let you guys hear about Godroot, what is it that you were so fucking eager
We're
to
going-
get to?
No, you're messing...
Time for fucking tour. Let's take a fucking drink. Jesus Christ.
Tours.
Fucking tours.
Fucking drama queens.
Well, I had a lot of that left in there.
It's a system that you're disturbing.
An ecosystem.
This is
Very fragile.
It's a very fragile system.
When Frank drives too fast with beer on the roof, it's like the same thing.
Yeah. You know,
Oh, God. God, that was a good night. All right, so what do we have here? All right, I say it every week. In Jersey, on the 19th of this month, Nightwish is playing. Go goddamn see them. Like, their newest vocalist is sweet. I wish I could see this, but
How
I'll
do they
be
do
too
that?
drunk playing video games.
That'll be fun.
Probably
That will be fun.
Probably Mario Brothers. You kids don't know nothing about that.
Oh, man. I tell you about recently when I told some younger kids that my first Zelda game was the first Zelda game, and they said, "What was that, Ocarina of Time?" Ooh, boy.
fucking kids.
Fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
Goddamn kids.
So,
Riding goddamn razor scooters, terrorizing my fucking neighborhood. Ride
Okay.
skateboards like
yeah,
fucking
you're eager to talk.
respect.
yeah.
the
Tor,
delinquents.
I'm actually
God
kinda-
damn it.
All right. So, Royal Thunder announced a tour with the Sword in person. Purson. Yeah.
You're not
But,
saying that right.
Fucking God. Like, kill all of you. But yeah, no, they announced a North American tour, and it looks like they're actually going to be coming to Union Transfer May 20th.
I fucking love that joint.
So
It's a cool venue,
I
man.
totally plan on being there. And that's just like I remember covering Royal Thunder in the show, and they're like one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, dude.
He remembers.
Yeah, that was one of my early bands. Man, was that even on? That might have
no,
been one of the.
it was here. It was here.
That was one of the test episodes, I
It was
think.
not.
You sure?
No. Yeah, it might. No, I think it was.
No,
The
like
test
one of the
episodes
first
did
ones.
all happen here.
Shut the fuck up. No, it wasn't. It wasn't that long ago.
No, I think you're right. I think it was not a test episode.
It was not a test episode.
I think they may actually have been one of the ones I did on a test episode and brought back.
Perhaps.
So
Royal
it's,
Thunder?
we do need to go back and recheck what we did on those
Dredge
because
that up.
you guys are missing out on some. I think some of our best bands came out of our test episodes.
Hail the
Sorry,
sun.
guys.
So, let's say
Yeah, that was bit.
Florida Metal Fest. I don't live anywhere near Florida. None of us do. But
Hey, Devin.
Isn't that the one that we talked about last week that passed already last week?
yes, Yes, it is. Why do you keep putting this up here?
What?
Fucking God.
We should just put that up there every week and just let someone talk about it.
I just
Florida
didn't take it
metal.
down. That's the magic there.
That
Now,
that happened before we filmed for our last episode, which was days before you saw it. So it's like 2 weeks ago now that shit happened.
That's kind of.
It was really cool.
This show happened in Florida.
Hey, but you know what? Keep an eye out. Look
You
on
weren't
Facebook
there. Where were
because
you?
hopefully it was successful and we'll do a second year. So follow up on it.
Oh shit! This.
yeah. Now, we've been mentioning Sun O quite a bit. They're actually going to be doing a North American tour.
What?
Here's the problem.
Oh my God! They're nowhere near us.
Nowhere. Not even close. Well, this is all April and...
We could drive them to North Carolina or
Fuck,
fucking
dude.
Georgia.
No.
We're not driving to Georgia.
That's only another 7 hours.
Ooh,
Right,
that's,
nothing in Georgia good worth going to Georgia for.
I was going to say,
It's
Ron,
the
you're staying
parts-
back.
There isn't shit in Georgia.
It's
I
funny
want.
because most of Georgia isn't gonna like Ron. The parts that would like Ron won't like us. It's,
So we got to choose.
There ain't shit.
In the description
No
for the
fucking
concert,
reason to go to Georgia in my life.
Metal Sucks said, feel the boom at one of the following dates.
What? When is the North Carolina date?
North Carolina is May 21st.
Oh, that's way
Isn't
too
Tennessee
soon.
closer than
Who's
that?
taking me to North Carolina for my birthday?
Yeah, isn't Tennessee closer than that?
I don't know. North
Tennessee?
Carolina's.
You know what?
That'll take you.
Where's Tennessee? It's in America.
Oh my fucking God.
It's further away.
I want to play the map game now.
North
No.
Carolina's real nice though. I would, if I was closer.
Yeah, but if you went to Tennessee, you could also go to the Jack Daniels distillery.
And eat
That's
Gator.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Tennessee either.
Speaking of,
Anything below Virginia?
Yeah. Like as soon as you hit that, I'm like,
I don't know, man. I feel like North Carolina because I drove through Virginia into North Carolina, and I feel like North Carolina
Yeah.
is like an oasis
Monday?
in the middle of the South. Now, granted, I didn't go far into
for
it,
you.
but
yeah, I'd imagine North
the
Carolina.
I might be
Carrboro,
out.
Chapel Hill area, totally cool.
Alright.
In case you're ever going to North Carolina for some reason.
For some odd
Speaking of
reason.
awesome,
Tom
But
brought
Georgia.
a point. We might have to figure out recording next week because Cryptopsy and Cannibal Corpse is Monday next week.
son of a bitch,
What
son
do
of
you
a
say? What do you say, son of a bitch for?
bitch. I don't know if I don't know
If
if
we're
I
recording
can
at
make it.
MagFest, we don't need to record Monday.
Okay.
But that just means that Tom needs to come home Sunday and throw the episode up like fucking ASAP.
This is stuff we can talk about it later.
I was gonna say let's not play this
Yeah,
out
let's
on
discuss.
air.
So we're talking about tours because that's what's important to you guys. You don't really give a fuck about when we film this, as long as we get it up there. Which we always get it up.
That's what she
Might
said.
take a while sometimes, but we get it up.
Don't need medication for it.
Speaking of fucking awesome tours that are coming nowhere near us, but that you should absolutely fucking go to if you live in Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, or California. Boris.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
Sun and
it-
Boris aren't even touching us.
No, dude,
Why?
it hurts. I've seen them like 4 or 5 times now. I've driven all the way up to Boken to see them. They're fucking incredible every single time. You will not get a bad show.
Holy shit, Albuquerque's a real place.
You didn't know that?
No, I mean I kind of knew that, but they're going there.
I'm gonna.
Wasn't
your dreads.
wasn't Breaking Bad in Albuquerque?
Huh?
Didn't Breaking Bad happen in Albuquerque?
I don't know.
And I watched it.
Jesus Christ, man.
Did you thought it was just like a common
Like-
fictional
Like
town?
Bugs Bunny place.
Ooh.
Timbuktu?
So between the Buried Me and August Burns Red's playing next month.
Or Kalamazoo? Which is a real place?
There's a lot of really good tours happening within the next 2 months, 3-4 months.
So much shit coming up. Things that we've mentioned before, but I will mention again. Bane, you can still get a ticket to the second show from what I understand. I will be at both of them, May 6th and 7th in Philly. I think the next night might be the Jersey night. I don't know, but they're playing Jersey sometime around then. I don't think that one's sold out either. This is going to be a last chance, guys. This isn't fucking, I mean, it's Bane. They're still, as far as I'm aware, probably losing money every time they tour. So it's not like this is one of those, hey, let's get back in it for the money.
Get a kickback before we quit.
Maybe 10 years down from the line we'll get a couple reunion shows, but it's never going to be the same. If you get the fucking chance to see Bane at the church in Philly, go. Don't fuck around. Go. They're playing with Boy Sets Fire, by the way. Did I mention that? Boy Sets Fire?
It's kind of a big deal.
So, yeah, that will be May 7th that you can still get tickets to. Got April 29th. Basement Turnstile defeat her and Colleen Green. The TLA. That one is going to be fucking awesome. We're going to that. And if either of you guys are interested, you should absolutely come with.
What was that date?
April 29th.
Oh, so forever away. Yeah.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to plan it out.
I'll have free money by then.
American Nightmare with Burn. First show is sold out. As far as I'm aware, the second show on March 5th is still available. So check that shit out. February 19th, which we will not be able to make it to, which I am very upset about. Judge, Wisdom in Chains, World Be Free, and Blind Justice. If you haven't listened to World Be Free yet, it's members of Gorilla Biscuits. I'm blanking. I think
Terror?
members of Strife. Scott Vogel of Terror is on vocals, and it's very much classic, like late 80s, early 90s hardcore.
Like Terror.
No, not quite.
Nah.
Closer to, it's a little more melodic, almost more Gorilla Biscuits-esque.
Okay.
Not far off from, like, a slightly heavier Ignite. Really, really, really cool shit. And what date will this episode go up? Wednesday? Which is the... Okay. So, yeah, you guys still have time to get tickets to Poison Idea and Iron Reagan at the Voltage Lounge. Iron fucking Reagan and Poison Idea. And I'm not even going to look at the other bands on there. If that's not enough to sell you, then you're fucked.
Well, look at it this way.
What time we got?
You're going to be missing the show.
Yeah, we should.
But we're going to get you drunk enough that one of two things will happen. Either you'll get so drunk that you'll forget and have a good time, or you'll get so drunk that you crawl up into an emotional ball because you're just depressed that you're not at the show. Either way, I'm going to laugh, but that's what's going to happen.
Kind of like when you fell asleep under the bed last year?
Yes, precisely.
It wasn't
Hung
even
the
a regular,
fuck over.
It wasn't even a bed like
It
that
was
has-
cold. It was because I wanted to be on the cold.
He used
Something cold. It was
an
hot in
inflatable
there.
air
Fuck
mattress
off,
like
I
a
was
blanket.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
telling me a drunk story.
Oh
That shit
boy.
was great.
I hope we get lots of footage from MagFest.
Yeah, cross your fingers,
Because-
loyal viewers. We might record some shit at
Oh my
MagFest.
God.
It'll be real.
I'll be drunk
The
as
room
fuck.
is sanctuary.
We all have pretty sweet phones with cameras on them, though.
I don't.
Your phone doesn't have?
My camera, I bring my phone into the shower.
Anyway.
And my camera's fucked.
My camera's still good, so maybe you'll see some gooseneck.
I think you got something to say to the audience.
Yeah. As always.
Is everybody...
I
Subscribe.
think we're about good.
We'll play us
Yeah.
out.
Subscribe. Comment. I don't know all these.
Like, subscribe, share us, show us to everybody. Tell your mailman about From the Pit. Tell that weird dude who's
Yeah, you know
hanging
mailman
out
listen to metal.
Yeah, like everybody. Tell every fucking person you can think of. We want to hear what you're thinking. If you guys have any thoughts on our main topic today, let us know. Drop us a line in the comments. or
Comment
something
all
like
that shit.
All
do
that
whatever.
shit.
Frank.
And as always,
Good night, ladies.